All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to meet a special kind of superhero team. Now, these aren't the folks you see in comic books. No capes, no super strength, but they come together to fight some of the toughest challenges you can imagine. We're talking, of course, about the League of Stakeholders.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part. Their villains aren't some alien invaders. Nope, they're fighting something way scarier, business problems. We're talking about things like massive inefficiencies, hidden risks, and just bad communication that can absolutely torpedo a project before it even gets off the ground. So, how do they actually win? Well, let's check out the mission they're on right now.
So, picture this, a huge retail store, right? And it's just bleeding money. Why? Because it's got way too much of the stuff nobody wants and not nearly enough of what's flying off the shelves. The mission for our team of heroes is to dive into this mountain of data the store has and solve what we're calling the inventory mystery. The goal? Stop the waste and start making some serious money.
Okay, so before our heroes can jump in and save the day, we've got to figure out who's actually on the team. And that brings us to the big question, what is a stakeholder? I mean, really, you can think of them as the absolute bedrock of any project that actually works.
You know, it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. A stakeholder is, well, it's anyone who cares about a project or is affected by how it turns out. They have a stake in the game, you know? Whether it succeeds or fails, it matters to them. And because of that, their input, their ideas, their influence is just absolutely crucial.
To make this super clear, let's use a simple analogy. Think about a school carnival. You've got the students, right? They just want awesome games. Then you have the teachers who are hoping it's a little bit educational. The parents? They just want it to be safe. And the principal, of course, wants the whole thing to run smoothly and, make some money for the school. See? Students, teachers, parents, the principal, even the folks running the games. They're all stakeholders. They all care about the outcome, they just see it from a different angle.
So what's the big deal? Why are stakeholders so important? Well, it's because they aren't just sitting on the sidelines watching. No way. Stakeholders are active players. They're the ones helping make the big decisions, spotting risks before they turn into total disasters, throwing in their own great ideas, and making sure the whole project actually stays on track.
All right, so now we know what a stakeholder is. Let's assemble the league. It's time to meet the heroes who are actually going to solve our inventory mystery.
First up is the project sponsor. If this whole operation is an army, the project sponsor is the general. They're the big boss, the one championing the mission from way up high and giving the team the official green light to get started.
The sponsor's role is all about strategy. For our inventory mystery, this is the executive who walks in and says, look, we're losing money, here's the budget, and here's the authority you need to go fix this thing. They're the ones who remove those huge obstacles nobody else can, and they give the final thumbs up. They're basically the ultimate power source for the entire mission.
All right, next on our team is the project manager. And if the sponsor is the general, then the project manager is the team captain, right there on the field, calling the plays and making sure everybody is moving in sync.
Yep, their job is all about tactics. The project manager is basically the glue that holds the entire team together. They're juggling the schedule, they're protecting the team from risks, and they're the main hub for communication. A huge part of their job is also kind of playing referee, right? Like, what happens when the people who will actually use the new system want a really cool feature, but the finance team says, no way, that's not in the budget. The project manager is the one who has to step in, navigate that mess, and find a solution that works for everyone.
And this is a really important distinction, because people get these two roles mixed up all the time. The sponsor sets the what and the why, that big picture vision and the resources to get there. The manager, on the other hand, deals with the how and the when, the nitty-gritty day-to-day work. You absolutely need both, but they're definitely operating at different altitudes.
Of course, you can't get very far on any mission without some cash. And that's where our next hero comes in. Let's meet financial operations, also known as the money masters of the team.
So what's their superpower? Making sure the mission doesn't run out of gas. For our retail store, they're the ones who figure out the budget for new software or for doing the research. They track every single dollar that gets spent, and they keep an eye out for any financial risks. Honestly, without them, the whole project just grinds to a complete stop.
Now, in our inventory mystery, the data is basically treasure. And you know what every treasure needs? A guardian. And that's where the database administrator, or DBA, comes into the picture.
The DBA is literally the protector of the project's most valuable asset, its information. With our inventory problem, the sales data, that's everything. The DBA's job is to make sure that data is safe, that it's always available, and that it's fast. And hey, if the whole system crashes, The DBA is the one who brings it back from the dead. They are truly the unsung hero of any mission that relies on data.
Okay, so it's one thing to have a ton of data, but it's a whole other thing to know what it all means. And that's where our clue finders, the researchers, step in.
Think of the researchers as the detectives on the team. They're the ones who are actually digging deep into the store's sales data. Maybe they're even talking to the people stocking the shelves to get the real story. Their job is to find the hidden narrative inside all those numbers. They take all that raw information and turn it into real insights that actually guide the rest of the project.
You know, sometimes even a team full of superheroes needs to call for backup, and that's where the partners come in. These are your outside experts.
So this could be a team of consultants, or maybe it's the company that makes a fancy new inventory management tool. The point is, they bring in super specialized knowledge that the internal team just doesn't have. They help the team get over really specific hurdles on the mission.
And last, but believe me, definitely not least, we have the most important heroes of all, the end users. These are the people the whole project is being built for in the first place.
We call them the real-world heroes for a reason. In our story, these are the store managers, the people who will actually use the new inventory system every single day. The whole project exists to make their lives easier. Their feedback is what makes sure the final product actually works where it counts, out there on the shop floor.
So, we've met all the individual heroes, but here's the secret. Their real power isn't just what they can do on their own. It's all about how they work together.
I mean, look at the difference. Without this league of stakeholders, a project is basically a ship lost at sea. No captain, no map, no crew. It's going nowhere. But when they all work together, suddenly that ship has a captain, a map, and an amazing crew, and it's actually going to get where it needs to go.
All right, let's wrap this up and bring it all home. Here's your quick and easy cheat sheet so you can remember everyone in our league of stakeholders.
And there you have it, the whole team. You've got the sponsor, who provides the vision, all the way to the end user, who makes the entire thing worthwhile. Every single hero has their own unique power, but the mission only succeeds when they all work together as a team.
And that's really the key takeaway here. This isn't just some theory, It's a blueprint. It doesn't matter if you're working on a huge corporate project or just planning a small event in your community, these roles always exist in some form. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Who are the stakeholders on your team? And are they all working together?